The seed for tonight's American dream came from a land far away, a transplant that took root in the fertile soil of American opportunity and grew and blossomed. And now, as you're about to see, the man who conceived and nurtured it has a new dream for America and the world.
One has got to think big.
Hello, John.
Having dreams is happiness. Making them come true is success.
45-year-old Kamran Elahian can certainly call himself a financial success. He drives an expensive car, has lots of money to spend, and can proudly boast about his 7 extremely profitable internet-related companies. Only in America, he says.
It was a place that you could come and fulfill your dreams.
Kamran, now a U.S. citizen, grew up in Iran, where Kamran's future was completely mapped out for him.
To me, it seemed like there was more for me in life, and I had to do something more.
At age 18, Kamran fled the country, and within a few years of arriving in the United States, he was on the fast track in California's Silicon Valley, creating 2 back-to-back million-dollar companies. Kamran was on top.
Some of my own PR started to get in my head, and I couldn't do anything wrong.
He was convinced his third company, Momenta, would be even better.
We were on the cover of so many magazines, and we got so many awards.
But it had quite the opposite effect. Momenta was a monumental flop.
I remember distinctively I was fired on April 1st, 1992. April Fool's Day, I guess, quite appropriate.
After a year of soul-searching, Kamran picked himself up and today is running 7 new, highly successful companies. But he won't allow himself to ever forget his failure.
So that every day that I come to work, I see that, and it's a kind of instant shot of humility.
But that hasn't stopped him from dreaming large.
When I left Iran, I had an American dream. Today, I have a global dream.
It is called Schools Online, and Kamran's goal is to connect all the school children of the world via the internet.
If people from all over the world have a way to get to know each other better and work with each other, it is much easier for them to develop tolerance for each other.
A tall order, some might say, but don't tell that to Kamran Elahian.
I've had failure. Give me some time, I will fail again. If I don't fail, I have not pushed the envelope enough, and I have not dreamt big enough.
And the latest measure of his success, he's put 5,000 classrooms in 45 states and 11 foreign countries online.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kamran Elahian.
So, you saw the picture of me when I was young and fat. Now I'm only fat. Those days I used to worry, God, do I have enough hair? Now I would do anything to have that much hair. Maz, I'm not trying to take your job away from you. At best, I would be Maz has gone bad. When he gets old and ugly, he might look like me. Well, the topic of tonight's event, by the way, what an amazing event, and so humbling it is to see amazing, amazing Iranian Americans who are so successful. It really has been amazing. But as I was looking around the audience, I saw many, many more heroes and many, many more successful people within the audience. Many of my heroes are here. We have an amazingly rich in talent, amazingly rich in character community in here. And it's such an honor to be part of Iranian American community. Salute to all of the heroes within all of us. So we are talking about passing the torch of success. What is success? I read somewhere that happiness is to have dreams. Success is to make your dream come true. So first and foremost, we need to have a dream. After lots of hard work, lots of blood and sweat, the success will follow. That's theory. But in reality, there is a huge, huge thing involved, and that's called the failure. When I wanted to talk about celebration of failure, in any place, people say, why do you want to talk about failure? We only want to hear about success. But let me tell you, success is the management of failure. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest ever of superstars of basketball or any sports, you think about it, says he missed over 9,000 shots. He lost almost 300 games. In 26 games, everybody in his team was looking up to him to make the winning shot. And he missed every single one of them, 26 times. He says he failed over and over and over. And that's why he was so successful. Success is the management of failure. Let me tell you a story. A young boy goes to the zoo with his mom and sees this big, huge, powerful elephant who looks really sad. Obviously, the elephant doesn't like to be in captivity. The boy sees the elephant is so powerful, yet it's tied down with a tiny chain around his neck, tied to a small pole. And there's a small fence. And the boy says, Mom, all this elephant has to do is to yank his head, he would break the chain, he can jump over the fence and run to freedom. Why doesn't he do that? Mom says, I don't know. Let's go and ask the zookeeper. The zookeeper says, 20 years ago, when we brought this elephant in here, it was a baby elephant. We put this chain around his neck. The pole was so much bigger than him, and the fence was so high. This baby elephant tried to run away every single day, and it failed. After 20 days, the elephant stopped trying. Now he's a huge elephant, has amazing powers, and yet in his mind he thinks he's a failure, he should not try to run away. After all, the words of wisdom are that only a fool will repeat the same task after he or she has failed once. Let me tell you, you look at any successful person, the only reason that they have been successful is because they were not afraid of failing, and they tried, and they failed, and failed, and failed many, many times. And that's how they became successful. In the video, there was reference to my company, my church company, Momenta. It was April 1st, 1992. I went to work and I found out I've been fired. I had promised my investors. I had orders for $300 million, first year revenue, $300 million orders from the biggest distribution chains of computers. I knocked it down by more than 65%. I projected our revenues would be only 100 million, and I delivered only 3 million. I went there and I found out that I've been fired. I thought it was the end of the world for me. I didn't know what to do, so confused. But you know what? That was the best thing that ever happened to me, because it allowed me to take some time off, traveled all over the world. Every country I visited, I found out the people were telling me their race was the best, their religion was the best, they were the only ones who were selected to go to heaven, and everybody else was going to go to hell. I thought, if anybody had a chance to travel to all these countries as I did, they would never ever have crazy wars. They would never follow the corrupt religious leaders or political leaders. Who tell us that's the enemy, kill, 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 violence, violence, violence. But since that wasn't possible, I created 3 principles for my life. One was create new companies that develop new technologies that bring the world closer together. So after that big failure, I started 7 more companies. And some of them created ADSL, that provided broadband communication, 10 gigabit Ethernet, and the most recent one had more than 60% of 4G communications that you will see is coming. So technologies like communication technologies or mobilities that bring us together. The second principle came, we should create global companies. Use the motivation for profit making to get people from different countries to work together. And the third part, the third principle was the best. When you look at it, you make some money, go and buy one nice home. You want to buy a second home. You go and buy a couple nice cars. But that's it. You really do not need to have 10 homes to be happy. You do not need a corporate jet. Give it away. Get rid of it as soon as you can. So we created, thanks to wisdom and the soulfulness of my wife, who is sitting way back in the audience, Zore. She brought a lot of light to my life. She's so humble, she always goes and sits on the back, you know. Behind every successful woman is a tiny little guy like me who is a little bit fat. We decided to create, first, we worked together at Schools Online, the most recent one, Global Catalyst Foundation. Our goal has always been to go use our money to go and empower the women and create new educational abilities for the youth using technology. And that's the way we believe we can really change the world for the better. So if it wasn't for that failure of my third company, and many other failures before that and after that, I would have never, ever been in a position that I got today to really think about it and be happy every day of my life. When you get up, if you don't have to worry about owning 10 homes, life becomes so easy. We only have one 4-bedroom home. Some of you have been to our home. It's not a palace, but it's a very happy home. And we never bought a second home. We never bought a yacht. When you give the money away, amazing things happen. Amazing goodwill gets created. And you will have a smile on your face beyond your belief. Thank you so much.